Welcome back, everybody. This is your host, Blake Wright, with Central Valley Charter Schools, and you're listening to your Transition Pace podcast. Can you believe it, Jonathan? The holiday seasons are already upon us. I mean, what happened to 2023?
Exactly, Blake. The school year is just flying by. It seems like yesterday we were launching our welcome back episode. We were in, maybe cooler clothing. And here we are talking about turkey. We're going to be talking about turkey, gravy, pumpkin pie, honey ham. We're wearing flannels. And it's fall season is upon us.
Oh, man, you're making me hungry. I haven't eaten lunch yet. I got to ask, though, are you a turkey or a ham guy?
Can I pick three?
Yeah.
I'm definitely a foodie. I'm definitely a turkey and gravy and stuffing guy. I love honey ham though. Actually four, now that I think of it. I love those little Hawaiian rolls. And I love to make like little sliders. Like to me, like those leftover turkey sliders are just amazing. I just love them. How about you, Blake?
Oh man, I mean, leftover Thanksgiving food is par none. Like, it is amazing. And those Hawaiian rolls are to die for. Honestly though, I'm like last year or so, I haven't been able to eat meat anymore. It doesn't agree with me. So I'm all about the mashed potatoes, stuffing, those are my top favorites. But honestly, for me personally, nothing compares to cranberry sauce. My father-in-law makes homemade cranberry sauce. And it's basically a joke that how much I love it now. They literally make me my own mason jar so that way I could eat it with a spoon and I don't take anybody else's.
That's awesome. You seem to have really good in-laws. That's amazing, Blake. Well, moving along, because I know I'm getting hungry, but I want to get into the meat and potatoes of what our episode's about. And so I'm really grateful for, it seems like he's a regular on our show, but Dr. Mitch is going to be joining us today. And we are having a special gratitude episode. And like I said, Dr. Mitch is no stranger to Central Valley Charter Schools or our podcast, but we just want to say, Dr. Mitch, welcome.
Well, thanks very much, Blake and Jonathan. I am certainly grateful to be here. I'm grateful for turkey after listening to all this. Good in-laws and a cheesy joke here and there. I'm grateful for all those.
I love it. Thank you so much, Dr. Mitch. I mean, again, you have played such a pivotal role in our student and our staff members' lives, and really are kind of our unofficial third host of this show with how often we've had you on. We can't get enough of Dr. Mitch. And I was just wondering if, for those who have somehow not seen an episode with you yet, could you please share real quick what you do for Central Valley Charter Schools?
Well, yes, and I'm happy to do this anytime. It's great working with you. So I'm a licensed psychologist. I work with the SEL team, and essentially our goal is to help students, staff, and parents help make the school the best that it can be in the most comprehensive way. Not just academics, but also in development, since that is what we're all doing every second. Our goal is to help really make our students great on all levels, and the school has been wonderful in supporting that. I currently oversee about 10 doctoral students who will provide SEL services to students, staff, and parents, and this is our third year of doing it, and we are just going like gangbusters. So I'm very grateful for the opportunity to do that.
Thank you so much for sharing, Dr. Mitch. And part of the reason behind this episode is we realize, that the holidays for many can be tough. Last year, I lost some family members, and it was really tough to notice their absence around the table. And I have a friend who's an author of a book on happiness. And he was sharing with me, he's a very disciplined individual. He was sharing with me that every day in his Google Calendar whether he feels it or not, he opens up a Google Doc and he creates a list of things that he's thankful for that day. And I was just kind of blown away by that. And he shared how it had a way of changing his attitude. I just thought that this was so cool, and it's a practice I've kind of started in my life. So Blake, I have a request. Can we all share right now to get started, or before we get into our Q&A, just kind of what we're grateful for? Is that okay?
Yeah, please, by all means.
All right, I don't mind getting the ball rolling. So I'm thankful today for the love I feel from the leadership at Central Valley Charter Schools. They love the staff, they love the students, they love our alumni, and I feel like they understand, if that makes sense. And so I'm really grateful for that. How about you, Blake, Dr. Mitch? What are you guys grateful for?
Yeah, no, I am, I'm really grateful for what we're able to do right now here today, is have this podcast and have this awesome resource for our school, for our students and our staff and our families. I don't know, well, I was going to say many, but I don't know any teachers or friends of mine or anybody who has the opportunity to have an awesome school podcast that they get to create and share with everybody. So I'm grateful for you guys and for this podcast.
Well, I think let me jump off the diving board with that. I mean, I am also grateful for the opportunity to speak to everybody here, and the fact that they even, that the powers that be value this so much and are really providing a resource to everybody. And of course, I'm grateful for my family.
I love it. Awesome. I mean, I feel better already. I mean, I would love to also just personally encourage all of our listeners to go ahead and, hey, maybe find a person this holiday season that you're grateful for, and tell them that you're grateful for them. Share the love. And while we're at it, throw someone in the comments, share some love. So share down below who you're grateful for in our comment section, whether it's a teacher or a family member or a friend. Share that with us. All right, so moving along, much anticipated questions. Dr. Mitch, can we talk about gratitude?
Absolutely. Let's rock and roll. That sounds fantastic.
Blake, you want to take the first question for Dr. Mitch?
I would be grateful to. All right. What connection does gratitude have to our social emotional learning or our emotional health and well-being?
That is a good question, and it's a very strong connection. So gratitude is essentially being thankful for something that you have that you may or might not even deserve, and that you could lose or keep. So it's not necessarily something permanent, although it could be. The key here is that gratitude and thankfulness, they imply humility. And that is a position, humility is really a position of readiness to accept more. And that's why having gratitude is good, because not only will it raise your level of feeling good, it'll also attract more good to you. If you're grateful for whatever happiness you have, it signals that you're ready for some more happiness. One other thing is that you can experience gratitude yourself. Like, I'm grateful for my family, like I said, and turkey up top and all this. You can give gratitude. You being a friend, hey, thank you for being such a good friend. And you could foster gratitude, like being a symbol for gratitude. For example, saying, I'm going to stay grateful, so people know it's possible to experience that. You don't even have to directly connect with them, but you're just a symbol for it. This fits really well into the SEL in two areas, kind of in our self-awareness, the integrating personal identity and identifying our emotions, and in relationship skills, developing positive relationships. Because if you're positive, you're going to bring that out, and people are going to want to be a part of it.
Thank you so much for sharing that insight. So I shared a little bit, Dr. Mitch, about last year was a really tough year for my family. There was a lot of loss, people missing around the table. And I realized that many of our students, or I like to refer to our listeners in Central Valley charter schools is our family members. Like a lot of our school-wide family, maybe they're having a tough time. Maybe there could be loss. Maybe there could be whatever it is, right? We can all fill in the blank. And the holidays are especially challenging for them. For those students and family members or alumni listening who feel that, oh no, here we go, the holidays are coming. What can you suggest to kind of help them feel grateful and thankful and just kind of, I guess, poke a hole through the dark clouds and let a ray of sunlight peek through?
Losing someone can be painful, no doubt about it. So, I mean, I've had that same loss. I think number one thing is to have realistic expectations about the loss. So, for example, you should feel sad about that loss. So don't feel abnormal, that you're feeling bad. It's to be expected. So it's normal that, again, you're going to feel that. In fact, it's so normal. There are predictable stages people go through when they lose someone. Stages of grief, so denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. It's so normal that everybody goes through these stages. They kind of bounce around the stages through the process, but it's that normal that there's an actual stage you could recognize. It's also to be expected that you will lose people, that the loss is normal in a sense, painful, but normal. And, in fact, if you think about it, everybody who was born in 1800, they're all gone, every single one of them. So it's normal. And one day we'll be gone too. So loss is normal. And that feeling sad about it is normal. In terms of gratitude, that ray of sunlight, it's really about being grateful for the time that you get with them and really starting to look closer at the people you have left to be grateful for. So the ray of sunshine is we have the loss, but we had such great times with this person. We can honor them, and we have other people that we can also be honored by or honor. And then, depending on your beliefs, of course, you might be grateful for the idea that you might see them again. So there's gratitude latent all over this, even though it's normal to feel sad.
Awesome. And so kind of building on all of this, are there, with gratitude, having an attitude of gratitude, are there any health benefits, either physical or mental, that come with this?
Absolutely. Major benefits. The research and literature is very, very clear that positive attitudes or lack of depression really keep your immune system working well. So by being happy, you're actually being strong because your immune system works better that way. It also is really good for socialization. Again, if you're more positive, you're generally, people like to be around you a little bit more. I mean, look at Disneyland. It's a land of positivity. Everybody wants to be there, right? They'll spend $500 to get in just to be around it. More kind of abstract level, I don't want to get too in the weeds with this, but like yoga, for example, is a same kind of thing. It's a position that is a position of strength. Actually practice these moves that are kind of spiritual in nature. And martial arts, the same thing. There's kind of positions of strength. And so having that positive attitude positions your body and socially to be more strong. So humility really suggests that you're strong enough to handle more. And so, yes, having that humble mindset and the social kind of posture that it brings with it definitely has health benefits and social benefits, which also bring health benefits. Great question.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mitch. And I just keep hearing I need to give, and many of our students can give ourselves grace. Our next question kind of goes with the second one, but it's a common one people or students may have it, and that is there something wrong with me if it's hard to find something to be grateful for? And do you have any other suggestions?
Yeah, there is absolutely nothing wrong with you getting to a spot where you feel like there's nothing to be grateful for. However, you can always be grateful for something. So whether you feel that, it is never true. You might feel it, but when we work with, you want to think about these those types of feeling like, oh my gosh, there's nothing to be grateful for. Kind of like weeds growing, and you got to be a lawnmower and you got to really smash those weeds down because they can grow pretty high and make you get to a sense that I feel like I can be grateful for nothing. When we get people into those states that are severely depressed or really don't feel like going on anymore, we start very simply, like breathing, be grateful for your breath. Be grateful for the feeling of warmth under your blankets. Be grateful for the shoes that you are about to put on as you walk. In the past, when I've worked with prisoners, that's a very hard place to be grateful in. But we would say, like, well, at least you are a prisoner in the best country in the world. Imagine being a prisoner in a third world country where it's far more dangerous and you might get tortured every day. Here, you're going to get 3 meals and a TV. So you can always find something to be grateful for. And if you find yourself in a state where you don't feel like that, it just means you gradually got there, kind of like twilight or when it goes from evening to nighttime. It doesn't happen in a switch. It gradually gets less light. And so if, like you mentioned with your author and your exercise or his exercise of being grateful every day in the morning, that's like being the lawnmower. You can decide, every day I'm going to be grateful. And you tend to find yourself not getting to those night spots where there's nothing there. But no, nothing's wrong with you. If you get to that state, it's just indicating you're in a certain mode. And let's reprogram that mode.
Wonderful. Awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. Mitch. And, I'm just curious. So, I mean, I felt like we've covered quite a bit, and we're always appreciate. But are there any other maybe tips or additional insight that you can suggest or recommend to our listeners?
Yes. Number one, I think knowing that the human mind is flexible. That means that even if you feel horrible, this little elastic brain can get to a state where it feels great, that it can change. I think that everyday gratitude, I think that is a phenomenal exercise to do every day, right when you wake up. I'm grateful that I woke up. That's really, really important because human beings and your brain, we are like magnets, and if you set your magnet to negative, it'll collect negative. If you set your magnet to positive, it'll collect positive. And being openly grateful through your words is definitely another way to keep it set on positive, and you'll continue to attract things. The other way is doing things for others. Be grateful that you have extra in your life to be able to give. And you might think there are people that have more than other people, that's fine, whatever. But some of our best examples of giving, the most powerful types, are when people that have very little give. It seems to be very powerful. It's a magnified effect. So giving is another way to do it. And I think, if you get to that spot where you feel like you're not grateful, come and reach out to the SEL team. Let's get you connected, because we can help train your brain a little better and help focus on things that maybe you could be grateful for. So those would be my suggestions for sure.
Love it, love it, love it, love it. Thank you so much. Awesome. I mean, your perspectives, resources, everything, your team, always so amazing, supportive, insightful, and invaluable.
Thank you.
Jonathan, any thoughts?
I was just going to say ditto. I agree, Blake. Thank you, Dr. Mitch, for sharing some tools to help us all as we enter the holiday season and we head towards, the new year. I still can't believe it. And gratitude is just, it's a practice that, I personally want to be more intentional about. And you kind of hit, I was going to ask you about the SEL team, but I think what would probably be good, and what we'll do is we'll leave in the description how you can get, or in the comment section, how you could be in touch with Dr. Mitch's team if you feel like, you need a little extra help with maintaining those weeds. And so and I'm going to put you on the spot, Dr. Mitch. Do you have any book recommendations or any, and I know the extra resource would definitely be our SEL team, that you can share with students around this topic, or just kind of curious?
Yeah, I think that there are many resources in terms of books, like you mentioned with your friend, they're out there. I think the best type of resource, gratitude, is a social activity. I think it's less insight and more being around people who are purposely trying to be positive. You can get this in churches very easily. You can get that in SEL groups at schools. You can look online for clubs that do this. There's a lot of people that are givers, volunteers, etc. So I highly recommend that the social activity that has gratitude built into it is honestly the best way to do it. The inside is one thing, but I'll tell you what, when you experience it and all of a sudden it changes within you, and then you look for maybe guides of why that's happening, that's the better way, rather than getting the insight and then trying the social stuff. I go right into the social stuff. I think it's the most powerful tool for experiencing gratitude.
Great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, wonderful. And like, Dr. Mitch has mentioned, and Jonathan, you've mentioned too, we'll go ahead and throw our SEL webpage here in the description, in that comment section. So that way, if you want to take a look at it, or, get in contact with the team, it's there. That resource is there for you. If you need somebody to chat to, or just somebody to reach out to. So, all that said, thank you again so much. It's always a pleasure, Dr. Mitch. Listeners, be sure to share some love for Dr. Mitch. And again, as we mentioned earlier, share something you're grateful for or someone you're grateful for here in the comment section with us. And that's going to do it for today's podcast, everybody. So until next time, thank you so much. Thank you for tuning into your transition podcast. We'll see you in the next one.